Hi everyone, and welcome to my very first Monotype Hardcore Nuzlocke. I saw a lot of these videos pop up in my recommended, and since I really enjoy playing Nuzlockes myself, I wanted to give this a go. Pokemon Emerald has always been my favorite Pokemon game. I loved playing it as a little kid, and I still love it today. But Emerald has always been quite easy, so I wanted to pick a type that wasn't that great. And as we all know, bug types really aren't that good, so I chose the bug type as my monotype. Bug is weak to quite a lot in this game. Roxanne, Flannery and Winona are all super effective against bug, so this is going to be a tough challenge. Aside from these gym leaders, we also have Team Magma, specialized around ground types, which conveniently also have the fire type. Yeah. Anyway, here's an overview of all the available bug types in this game. We've got Beautifly, Dustox, Masquerain, Ninjask, Shedinja, Volbeat, Illumise, Armaldo, Pinsir and Heracross. However, Pinsir and Heracross are only available in the Safari Zone, so I'm only able to get one of them. Beautifly and Dustox are from the same species, so species class in mind, I'm only able to get one of them. Masquerain is just not in Emerald, and Volbeat and Illumise are on the same route, so I'm also only able to get one of them. So this just leaves Ninjask, Shedinja, Armaldo as my guaranteed encounters, and then either a Beautifly or Dustox, a Volbeat or Illumise, a Pinsir or Heracross. There's not a lot to choose from, and just one single death means no full party for the rest of the game. And with Hardcore Nuzlocke rules in mind, this is not going to be easy. The rules are as following. When a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead and it can no longer be used. We can only catch the first encounter on every route. We're not allowed to overlevel the next gym leader's highest ace. Battle mode has to be in set. We can't use items in battle. And we use species clause, which means I get to reroll my encounter if I encounter one that I already have. This is going to be a tough one, but let's get into it. We start in the back of the truck like we always do. Once I got out of the truck, I saw a beautiful new region, and I saw a strange man getting attacked by a Zigzagoon. Turns out that he's the professor, and he offers me a Pokemon. None of them are bug, so I just picked one and went with it. I ultimately went with Torchic, as he's a nice middle ground. We're not super effective against Mudkip like we would be against Trico, and we're not getting wrecked by his Torchic either, so Mudkip seems like a fair choice. After battling our rival, I received my Pokeballs and we called our actual starter, a Wurmple, who I called Ice. Now Wurmple can evolve in two different bug types, either a Dustox or a Beautifly, and I'm really hoping for a Dustox. Beautifly would be 4 times weak against the first gym leader, who is going to be an extremely challenging fight. And Dustox also learns Protect, which is going to be extremely useful later on. Luckily we hit the jackpot and we got a Dustox. After that, I arrived in Petalburg where I talked to my dad. He tells me to help Wally catch his Pokemon, and he called a Ralts. Somehow, I don't think Wally is going to be a problem in this run. After that, we go on to the forest, and here I see a poor dude getting attacked by Team Aqua. So I decided to help out, and I beat the guy up. In the forest, I was also able to catch my second member, a Nincada, who I'm naming Ark. After that, we arrive in Roxborough City, where we're about to meet one of the toughest gym leaders in this run, Roxanne. Roxanne is specialized in rock-type Pokemon, and both of my guys are weak to rock. Luckily, we have a Dustox, so we're only 2 times weak and not 4 times weak as we would have been with Beautifly, but still, this is going to be very difficult. I leveled both of my team members up, and I challenged Roxanne. I led with Ice Shares, and a few confusions took care of the first Geodude. Then came in the Nosepass, who I was dreading the most. I used Poison Sting and I got a very lucky poison from it. Now I knew that I needed Ice Shares for the next Geodude, so I decided to switch him out before Nosepass could use Block. Arc then proceeded to sand attack the Nosepass 6 times, hoping for him to miss every single one of its moves. Luckily it did. Now as you can see, both of my Pokemons level up during the battle, which is fine according to my rules. This is called edging, where I'm leveling up my Pokemon to just about the level cap, so that when they take out the very first Pokemon of the gym leader, they're going to level up. This is fine with my rules, because I need to be at the level cap before I start the fight, and I can level up during. Now taking out the Nosepass took a lot of time, but eventually with the poison damage and the leech life damage from Arc, we eventually took it out. Then came in the last Geodude, and Arc sent out 1 sand attack, so I switched back to Ice Shares. A few confusions later and we won the battle. Now this might look easy in this attempt, but this literally took 15 plus attempts, as I got really unlucky with misses and crits. I also don't really think there was a better strategy to win this fight, so I just had to hope and pray that sand attacks would do its magic. Luckily it did, and we can move on. After leaving the gym, I move on to Dewford Town. In Dewford, we begin with giving the letter to Steven, and we battle all the gym trainers. After that, it's time for Brawley. Now I wasn't that worried about Brawley, because Ice Shares knows confusions. Of course I led with Ice Shares and 2 confusions took out the Machop. We then used a couple of Gusts on the Meditite and a few confusions on the Makuhita to easily win us the battle. This was a really nice breath of fresh air after the Roxanne debacle. As I move on to Slayport City, Arc evolves. Now Nincada evolves in Ninjask, but if you have an open slot and an extra Pokeball, you get an extra Pokemon named Shedinja. Now Shedinja is a bit of a debate on whether or not to use it. Its ability Wonder Guard can make a lot of battles very trivial, but ultimately I decided to use it. It's simply because there aren't really that many bug types encounters available, and bug isn't really the best type either, so I needed all the help I can get. With that, we now have a team of 3 Pokemon. Now with our new team member, we once again have an encounter with Team Aqua, but they're beaten easily again. They don't really pose a threat to us, it's more Team Magma I'm worried about. On the route to Marble City, we arrive at the infamous May battle. This battle is known as a run killer, but I came prepared. And with prepared, I mean with 3 relatively weak bugs. I led with Ice Shares, who killed the Lombre easily, but he also took down the Slugma. The Slugma did get off a yawn though, so we were put to sleep. With that I needed to switch out. This is the first showcase of Shedinja's power. May's Mars Stomp just could not hit Shedinja, so we had a very easy kill there. Together Ice Shares and Shedinja won us the battle. Now that we arrive in Marble City, we can catch our next encounter. On Route 117, you can catch either a Volbeat or an Illumise. We ended up finding an Illumise, who I named Vanguard. Now it's time to take on the 3rd gym leader, Watson, the electric type specialist. On the surface, Watson isn't that scary, but when you take a closer look, he can do a lot of damage to this team. Arc is part flying, so he's weak to electric. Ice Shares and Vanguard aren't the strongest Pokemons, and Shedinja can easily be one-shotted with his 1 HP. Now luckily Shedinja is able to clear a good portion of the team, but the Magneton has Supersonic, and if we hit ourselves in confusion, we lose Shedinja. Voltorb has rollout, so Shedinja isn't an option here either. But the Manectric and Electric are fair game, we just need to clear the other 2 out first. We lead with our usual lead Ice Shares, who got off 2 Psybeams. After that I predicted a self-destruct from the Voltorb, so I went for Protect. Sadly, the self-destruct did not happen. I then did something extremely risky and went for another Protect, knowing that it wasn't a fully accurate move anymore. Luckily it paid off tremendously as Voltorb self-destructed into my Protect. In comes the Electrike, and I took this opportunity to heal with Moonlight. A few Psybeams later and Electrike is down. Now for the biggest hurdle, Magneton. This took ages. So many Psybeams, Moonlight, switches, I even dodged a few confusion hits with Shedinja. After a very long time though, I ran out of Moonlight PP with Ice Shares and his health was running way too low to risk another hit. I knew I needed to switch, so I went for Arc. Arc then did some chip damage and eventually he got killed by Shockwave. This is a very impactful death. But in came Vanguard, who eventually managed to kill the Magneton with Quick Attack. But this didn't happen before a lot of Moonlights and a lot of stalling. Lastly was the Manectric, who was a freebie thanks to Shedinja. Manectric could not hit Shedinja, so we had an easy kill here. Losing Arc will hurt a lot. Ninjask was one of the few mons that could set up, and he was the key to my fight against Flannery. We could set up a few Swords Dances, then use Dig on all of her fire mons, but now we need a new strategy. This is going to be really difficult. We then did some plot stuff in Meteor Falls, and then I realized that Team Magma is going to be a big problem. They have lots of Camerops and Numels, and my team really can't handle those. On Mount Chimney, we got our first taste of Team Magma. The first fight against Admin Tabitha was pretty easy, with Vanguard getting the first Numel, and Ice Shares getting the second Numel, the Zubat and the Poochyena. Maxi wasn't so easy though. We lead with Vanguard against his Mightyena, and this was a long battle. Lots of Wish, lots of Encore, Moonlight and Quick Attacks, and we even had Ice Shares popping in to do some damage with Gust. Eventually though, Vanguard had to come back in. After quite some time, we finally took down the Mightyena. 1 down, 4 to go. Damn. Vanguard is now up against the Camerupt, but I got a trick up my sleeve. Arguably the best move in a Nuzlocke, Encore. The Camerupt came in and used Focus Energy, but with Encore we can trap him into using that move all the time. So we used Encore on him, allowing us a few free hits. We couldn't take it down though, so we had to Encore again. This time it was on Magnitude. I played really poorly here and it left Vanguard on just 1 HP, but luckily he survived. I just wasn't really playing my best here, but hopefully this will improve in the future. In comes Ice Shares, who finally took down the Camerupt with Psybeam. Psybeam also took care of the incoming Zubat. I was not playing that great here, but luckily it all worked out in the end. Never punished, I guess. But this fight only proved to be a warm-up. The next challenge will be Flannery, the fire-type gym leader. Her Numel, Slugma, Camerupt and Torkoal can all nearly one-shot my entire team, not even needing a crit. And without Arc the Ninjask, we're in trouble. Luckily there's a Dig TM in the Fossil Maniac's cave, which will really help, but still, this is not going to be easy. After lots of planning, I came up with an extremely risky play. Here's how it went. I opened with Vanguard. The Numel used Magnitude, so I made sure to Encore him into that. Now it's time for Shedinja to come in. Shedinja knows the move Double Team, and I made sure to set up 6 of them. I could get 4 up before the Encore ended, so those are 4 free double teams, but I had to dodge 2 more overheats. After the 6 double teams, I proceeded to use Dig and one-shot the Numel and the Slugma. The Camerupt came in and took 2 digs, and Torkoal took a lot of hits as well. In fact, it took so many hits that I ran out of Dig PP, so I had to resort to using Fury Swipes. I had to dodge so many hits here, and I can't believe I was this lucky. This was not my proudest win, but it was a win nonetheless. We can move on now. With our new badge, we finally have access to the desert. Here's one of my most valuable encounters of this run, the Anorith fossil. We took the fossil and had to revive it. After reviving it, we got a nice Anorith and I named him Van Eck. With a now pretty decent team, it was time to take on our father. Again, we were in a pretty solid place with Shedinja, as some of Norman's Pokémons just couldn't touch him. We opened with Shedinja and used Confuse Ray. Norman switched immediately into Slacking, so I swapped into another one of our ace cards, Ice Shares this time. Ice Shares knows Protect, and with Protect, Slacking is useless. Slacking's ability is True Hunt, which makes him move once every 2 turns. We just use Protect on his moving turns, and then attack him when he is loafing. This allows us to have a free kill. This is really why I wanted Dustox so badly. Sadly though, this didn't really work out the way I intended it, because Ice Shares ran out of Protects before we could kill the Slacking. So we're in a pretty bad spot now, right? Nope, Van Eck also knows Protect, so we just pick off where we left off. After taking out the Slacking, the Spinda came in, who was a little annoying. Now the Spinda couldn't touch Shedinja, so he swapped into Shedinja, but Norman swapped back for Vigoroth. Van Eck eventually took out the Vigoroth with a few Metal Claws. Again, the Spinda came back in and he started to be really annoying again. Shedinja eventually took him out, and he also took out the last mon, Linoon. Linoon couldn't touch us again, and he even made our work easier by using Belly Drum, cutting its HP in half. Moving on, we did some story stuff. We freed the Weather Institute, which needed saving by a 10-year-old boy, and we had to manage our XP. The level cap only increased by 2 levels, and with only 4 months, a very large route, and the Weather Institute, we had to dodge as many trainers as possible. Arriving at Fort Tree City, we had to face our last true threat, Winona. So why is Winona such a problem? Well, it starts with the fact that she's a flying type leader. Her lead, Swablu, isn't really an issue, but the bigger brother Altaria is. Altaria knows Dragon Dance and is known to sweep here with Earthquake. Furthermore, every single mon of her knows the flying type move, so that basically removes Shedinja from the equation. And aside from the Altaria, Winona also has a Skarmory, another huge threat. We don't really have the best counters here. I started the battle with Vanguard, who I thought Shockwave. Shockwave was an easy 2-shot on Swablu, and in comes Atropius. I switched to Van Eck to use Rock Tomb. I missed the first and got down to half health. An Oran Berry restores some of the health and Van Eck hits a crit, making up for the miss. The crit one-shotted the Tropius. In comes the Pelipper, so we switched back to Vanguard to use Shockwave. I first encored Pelipper into Protects, so he wouldn't use Aerial Ace against my Vanguard. I then decided to set up a Wish to heal Van Eck back to full health again, as it would be extremely important for the rest of the fight. Going back into Vanguard, a Shockwave took out the Pelipper. He did confuse me, but a Person Berry took care of that. Now for the scary part, the Altaria. I switched to Van Eck, as Altaria set up its first Dragon Dance. Van Eck took 1 Earthquake, pretty good actually, and due to the speed drops, we now outsped Altaria. A few more Rock Tombs did the job. My god, I always thought Anorith sucked, but this is showing a whole new side to him. But there's still one more threat, Skarmory. I swapped into Vanguard to lock him into Steel Wing with Encore. Eventually Steel Wing missed, which meant I could get in a hit. After some healing with Wish and Moonlight, a crit Shockwave took out the Skarmory, giving us the win. Damn, what a battle. I think I played this really nicely. I didn't really rely on double team like the previous gym leader, just a good use of pivoting, Encore and the usage of my mons and my moves. With our 6th badge, we can now move on our way to the Safari Zone. Here awaits our final team member, either a Pinsir or a Heracross. I'm really hoping for the Heracross here, and luckily we got it. We also managed to catch it because the Safari Zone isn't a guarantee, and I named him Blackrock. Then we did some more story stuff up on Mount Pyre and battling Team Aqua. And then again some more story stuff with Team Magma, where we had our final showdown with Maxi. Maxi is pretty scared with his fire type, so this is going to be a difficult battle. I led with Black Rock, who is the solution to our Midiana problem. A few brick breaks took him down, and in comes a Crobat, another threat. Luckily, with our new level cap of 42, we managed to evolve Fennec, and he's our new bat killer. An Ancient Power one-shotted him and gave us the Omni Boost. Perfect. Now an Omni boosted Fennec also took out the Camerupt. With Maxi down, it was time to face Tate and Liza. I didn't mention them as our biggest threats, but if you played Emerald, you know how difficult they are. I led this battle with Shedinja and Fennec. I do this to bait rock moves onto Shedinja, so Fennec can get a free hit in. Shedinja is switched for Black Rock, and Fennec one-shot the Satu. We then crit Brick Break the Lunatone and Metal Claw the incoming Soul Rock. I swapped Black Rock for Shedinja, knowing there was an incoming Psychic, and used Metal Claw with Fennec again. Shedinja once again baits rock moves, so he is swapped for Ice Shares. This once again allows Fennec to hit freely. He takes down the Soul Rock with another Metal Claw. We now have a 2v1. Knowing that the Claydol will target the low health Ice Shares, I use Protect with him. Fennec gets another free hit in with Metal Claw. Ice Shares is now swapped for Vanguard, and Fennec does some more damage. Vanguard uses Moonlight to instantly recover from the Ancient Power. We almost managed to take down the Claydol, but sadly he got healed by a Hyper Potion, so we have to attack him even more. Again Moonlighting with Vanguard and doing some damage with Fennec. This is a rather risky play, as Claydol can get the Omni Boost here, but luckily he doesn't. As Vanguard runs out of Wish and Moonlight, he anchors Claydol into Psychic, allowing a free switch into Shedinja. Fennec and Shedinja take care of the Claydol, leaving Fennec at only 7 HP, but winning us the battle. After this insane battle, which I was once again pretty proud of, we took on Maxi in the Space Center. This was a pretty easy win. After Maxi, we had to take on the Aqua hideout and we fought Archie. Archie's team is pretty similar to Maxi's team, so we handled them the same. Blackrock took out the Midiana, Fennec took out the Crobat and Sharpedo. Now that both team leaders realized they suck and got beaten multiple times by a kid, they decided to quit. But not before setting loose the literal embodiments of water and earth, putting the whole world in danger. So once again, the little kid had to fix it all. And we do this by waking up another legendary Pokemon, Rayquaza. He screams at the other two, who immediately just decided to leave. After saving the world, it's time to take on the last gym leader. Now this is a very easy battle, as Juan can really be just trivialized by Shedinja. Only the Love Disc is really a threat here. Love Disc knows Sweet Kiss, and if Shedinja hits himself in confusions, he's done for. But all the other monsters just could not touch Shedinja. So with that said, we open with Black Rock, who one-shots the Love Disc with Brick Break. In comes the Witchcash, who will be the first victim of Shedinja. 2 Shadow Balls do the trick. Crawdon meets the same fate after getting hit by Dig a few times. Now I was using Dig on Crawdon because I wanted to save PP on Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is our highest damaging move and I wanted as many as possible for the double team in Kingdra. I also made sure to teach Shedinja Aerial Ace, so no matter how many double teams Kingdra will set up, we will always be able to hit him. Celio is Shedinja's next victim and in comes Juan's Ace Kingdra. Kingdra immediately opens with double teams and we fire off the Shadow Ball. I was using as many Shadow Balls as possible to do as much damage as possible. I knew Juan would heal Kingdra, so I was hoping for defense drop and damage. After running out of Shadow Ball PP, I swapped to Aerial Ace. This didn't really do that much damage, so I swapped to Vanguard with Shockwave. Shockwave is also not able to miss, so we hit a couple times and Kingdra was really just annoying with rest. Eventually though, Vanguard was able to take down the Kingdra. And with this, we collected all the badges. And now it's time for the final challenge, the Elite Four. Victory Road was a breeze and so was Wally. Sadly I did lose the footage of my fight against Wally, but Blackrock and Fennec did most of the work. And with that we officially arrive at the Elite Four. First up is Sydney, the Dark type Elite Four. He opens with an Intimidate Midiana, and I started with Blackrock. Despite the attack drop, Blackrock completely sweeps here. He just uses Brick Break, killing every member of Sydney's team, running us an easy victory. Against Phoebe, you would think that Blackrock can't really sweep. Well, you'd be wrong. Phoebe's Dust Clubs always goes for Protect first turn, so I take the chance to set up a bulk up. and then set up a few more and proceeded to one-shot her entire team with Mega Horn. Mega Horn is an amazingly powerful move and with pretty bad accuracy. Luckily though, Blackrock managed to hit nearly all of them. Just like Phoebe's Dusclops, Glacier's Celio always starts with a non-damaging move as well. This time it's Hail. We once again use this opportunity to set up Bulk Ups. We set up a few more and once again Blackrock sweeps with Brick Break. Blackrock is really showing just how powerful he can actually be. He clean swept the first 3 Elite Four members. Surely he can swoop the 4th as well, right? Well, partially. Once again, Drake's first move is a non-damage move, Protect this time. Blackrock sets up a Bulk Up, and another, and another, and another. Wow. He then one-shots the Shell Gun with Brick Break, the Fly Gun with Mega Horn, the Altaria with Mega Horn, and he nearly kills the Salamence as well. Salamence gets off a Flamethrower, nearly killing our legend Blackrock. Not wanting to risk the Mega Horn miss, I switch into Van Eck, who kills the Mance with Ancient Power. Lastly is Drake's Kingdra, and like Juan's Kingdra, he cannot touch Shedinja. After a lot of misses thanks to Smokescreen, we managed to take him down. Up till the champion, we have lost just one single mon using one of the weakest types available. Now, Blackrock and Van Eck have shown us just how powerful bugs can really be, and Ice Shares and Vanguard have pulled a lot of weight early game and during the most difficult challenges. Vanguard's Encore has been one of the most important moves, and Shedinja's immunity has been equally important. Now it's time to see if we can face the champion as well. Let's see how it goes. Wallace opens with Wailord, who is food for Shedinja. A few Shadow Balls later and Wailord falls to the shedded piece of skin. In comes Tentacruel, and then predicting the Toxic, I switch into Ice Shares, who is unaffected by it. Ice Shares then has to alternate between Moonlight and Psybeam a lot, and it really isn't doing that much damage. As great as our starter was early game, he really starts to fall off mid game, and here in the champion battle it really shows. After some time, Blackrock comes in with the intention of finishing the Tentacruel off. Sadly, Strength didn't quite do it, and Blackrock gets Toxic'd. After that, he does kill the Tentacruel, but he's on a timer now. In comes the Wishcash, who can't touch Shedinja, so this is another easy kill. Knowing the Ludicolo and Melodic can do a lot of damage, and with Blackrock on a timer, Shedinja sets up 6 double teams. After the double teams, he kills the Wishcash, and in comes the Ludicolo. The main reason I needed the double teams is Ludi's Leech Seed. Luckily, he misses a lot, so he can kill it with Aerial Ace. In comes the Milotic, and Milotic knows Toxic. Another reason for our 6 double teams. We do a lot of damage again, but sadly one of his Toxics came true. This killed our legend Shedinja. Rest in peace, buddy, you were amazing. I decided to switch in Vanguard and Encore him on the Toxic. We now have a safe switch into Blackrock, who could set up some Bulk Ups and Mega Horn finishes after Milotic. And with that, we're the champion. Wow, what a run this was. Never would I have thought that doing a bug only run would get me so hooked. I had such an amazing time taking on this game with the limited selection we had, and it's safe to say that I have a newfound appreciation for several of these months. I always thought that Anorith was quite bad, but he took on a +2 Altaria and won. Heracross was also incredible, single-handedly carrying us through the Elite Four. He killed 22 out of the 24 Elite Four months, what a legend. And on top of that, he dealt the final blow to the champion. But let's not forget Illumise. Never would have thought that I could do so many clever plays with this little bug. Him learning Encore really opened the door to a lot of clever plays. Overall, I'm really proud of this run. Ever since the first gym leader, this team was at a disadvantage. But with clever gameplay and a little double teaming here and there, we pulled through with only 2 deaths. One being in the very last fight of the run. I had a blast playing this, and I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I did playing it. I also had a blast making this video, so expect to see more in the near future. With that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.